Welcome to the all-new Sports Visions on Bounce TV and to our worldwide web viewers on www.sportsvisionsusa.com. Hello, everybody. I'm DJ Jones alongside my good friend and traveling partner, Dale Williams. How are you, sir?
What's up, player?
Man, I tell you what, it's spring, but I officially know it's spring when the pollen's in the air, man, because my hay fever and my allergies, man, just go berserk.
That's right, man. With the pollen, without the pollen, DJ, nothing grows, man. So you got to have some pollen, but we need some rain, too.
All right. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll have an opportunity to talk about the Final Four. And yes, we have the men's Final Four and the women's Final Four. We'll also talk about this brand new Atlanta Braves baseball team.
I can't wait to see the Braves team, but plus the SunTrust part. Got to see it.
All that and more coming up next on Sports Visions.
It's time to save during the Nissan Year of the Truck and SUV event at Headquarter Nissan. Now, save $4,500 on new Rogue. Save $10,000 on all remaining 2016 Nissan Titan XDs. And get America's best truck warranty. Take on any job with Nissan trucks and SUVs from Headquarter Nissan.
Yes, Columbus is a Nissan town. Now it's going to be a Titan town. $10,000 off 2016 Titans.
And then there were four. Dale, I think out of respect for the women, we would start the NCAA Final Four conversation about the young ladies because, again, I tell you what, man, as spectacular as it has been, you know, it's hard to separate Geno Auriemma and then call the guys something else. You know what? They've worked hard, and, of course, UConn leads the field.
They lead the field, DJ, 105 consecutive victories, you know. UConn going for their fifth NCAA women's title out there. Really got great storylines with these four teams, you know. South Carolina, Dawn Staley, got the SEC in the picture. Mississippi State, they're playing well. And then you got Stanford. Again, all these teams been there before, DJ, so we're going to find out who's going to win this thing, and I'll make my pick later on.
Well, one thing I tell you that fascinates me, and it's not just because I'm an SEC guy, but Dawn Staley, everything that she stands for, everything that she's done up to this point has been absolutely spectacular. And, of course, even most recently with her being named the new Team USA women's coach, right. Here I see this young lady, she is set up just for stardom. And she's on the fast track because whoever would have thought that Dawn Staley would have this South Carolina team mentioned in the same names, or at least in the same tournament this time of year, you know, with Geno Auriemma and of course UConn and of course the great teams of Stanford and Mississippi State. But she's right there.
She's right there, DJ, and she has a great pedigree, you know, from Tennessee to being an all-star player, SEC player, Olympic player. I mean, really, she's lined up to be able to do all those things that she did as a player. Now she's going to be the coach of the Olympic team, which is a great pick, but really just putting her in the, you know, putting her right in the place where she needs to be, but really she set that South Carolina women's basketball program on fire.
Absolutely, and what Frank Martin has done, and we'll have opportunity to talk about the men Gamecocks, but with Lady Gamecocks, you know, two teams in the same, you know, of course the Final Four, I mean, it's just extraordinary. That's the only word you could say about it, but again, Dawn is a great leader, but again, when you talk about the matchups, who do you see in the finals?
Well, you know, I love to see UConn and South Carolina. I want to see that game play because I really think that, you know, it's the up-and-coming team against a dominant team that has a dynasty. Geno Auriemma, he is a great coach. He's been that guy. You know, the legacy that he leaves, he's been the Olympic women's coach before. He's won several games. He's won over 1,000 games. And at the same time, 105 consecutive victories, that's big. But I feel something in my spirit with Dawn Staley that South Carolina is going to do something very special.
Well, they're going to have to be specialists if in fact, they are going to be UConn, because I just got UConn penciled in. And again, that's probably the only sure thing that I would have betted on coming into this NCAA tournament. But again, big shout out to the young ladies. They've been playing great. Stanford coming in with another great team. You know, they've always done well, but I'm glad to see Mississippi State, another Southeastern Conference team. And again, it's just shocking the world right now. Again, because you know, the SEC, I know on the men's side, definitely supposed to be a football conference. Right. On the women's side, you can't say that, but at the same time, it's great to see two SEC teams represented on the women's side.
You know, that's a big storyline for me, DJ, to have two SEC teams in there. You know, really traditionally you had the Tennessees in there now, but not right now you got Mississippi State that's always been consistent, and you know, you got South Carolina, which has grown under the tutelage of Dawn Staley, And I think really one of the biggest things that people have to look at is that, you know, the SEC, it is a big major conference. Football supplies a lot of the money and a lot of the revenue, having their own network. That kind of stems in, but I think really it also gives the SEC an advantage, DJ, where we can go out and recruit some of the #1 men and women players in the whole country.
Well, the venue will be in Dallas now, and again, Dallas is a city that's second to none. Obviously, they've come a long way here, but you know, Dallas is going to be welcoming these ladies in for the big stage.
Okay, they can't wait for what they call it, the Fort Worth and Dallas area. I mean, really, they're going to be big time around there, and I think really one of the other things, DJ, you know, one thing after the women's basketball, the NCAA, you got the WNBA that starts up. So people are really just chomping at the bits about that situation. But I think really the big story is UConn, 105 consecutive victories, and you got Dawn Staley, the up-and-coming Olympic coach, and might be able to do something very special for the University of South Carolina.
All right, coming up in just a little bit, we'll break down the men's Final Four.
I'm back, swimming at the gym every week. Last month, I started playing tennis again. And 4 months ago, I went hiking for the first time. I struggled with knee pain for years. Just walking upstairs was difficult. But the St. Francis Orthopedic Institute was there, from surgery through physical therapy, helping me get back to doing the things I love. Thanks, St. Francis. I'm back in motion again.
Truth be truth, the will to win will win. So intimidate your darkest fear. Revive every forgotten fantasy. Set goals you can never reach, then reach them. Count cards to fight fate stack deck. And if you want to win as much as you want to live, you're ready to reign on.
Hi, I'm Grace Carswell. I almost lost my life in a car accident due to someone else's negligence. Forrest B. Johnson and Associates held the insurance companies accountable and worked tirelessly on my behalf to make sure I got the compensation I deserved. You can trust Forrest B. Johnson and Associates. Results you can bank on.
Call Forrest B. Johnson and Associates right now. 706-223-5380.
Sports Visions, brought to you by Aflac, Express Motors, St. Francis Orthopedic Hospital, Headquarters Nissan, and Forrest B. Johnson.
Welcome back to Sports Visions, Dale. The men have finally come down to it, and they'll be out in Arizona. And I know that teams have been shooting for Arizona for quite some time, but now they're just down to 4. And the 4 that have come, you know what, they've had to play some doggone good basketball.
When you know the 4 that are left, DJ, they deserve to be where they are. You know, just take the North Carolina piece. They played in probably the toughest region, that South region, but they're back. And then they had they had to repeat. They had to get back to where they got last year after they lost against Villanova, but they're back, so hats off to them. And then you look at the South Carolina piece. I think South Carolina is the Cinderella of them all. I love how Frank Martin coaches. I think his players emulate their coach on and off the field. I think one of the biggest things, they play defense, and we always talk about in football, defense wins championship, also in basketball, because really they play get after 2-3 matchup mans, zones, whatever they need to do, but one of the biggest things I see, they contest all the shots, they get back on defense, and then, I guess the other storyline, DJ, Gonzaga. They've been there before, they've always been there. Everybody, really doesn't really know a lot about Gonzaga. Where is Gonzaga? I had to look that up, DJ. That's in Spokane, Washington. So I learned something about this Gonzaga Bulldogs, and then you got Oregon. I think Oregon is good. Everybody knows that Oregon is a big-time school. They also, everybody's saying they're the West Coast. They're the Lakers of the West Coast. They play up-tempo. So it's going to be interesting, the North Carolina-Oregon game and the Gonzaga-South Carolina game. I really want to see the battle of the Carolinas. I want to see North Carolina and South Carolina.
You're absolutely right. But one thing about Oregon is that, they lack no resources. There's a man by the name of Phil Knight, who just happens to be a very, very big contributor to Oregon, and, of course, that program. And, again, if you don't know Phil Knight, maybe you're familiar with Nike. Well, he's the guy, the CEO of Nike. And, again, you just think that everything that Oregon is really the guinea pigs for Nike and all of their products, any of their shoes, whatever sport, their apparel. But you wonder why Oregon has so many different uniforms, and of course they have the bright orange and all that good stuff. But Phil Knight, just to let you know, has a lot to do with what's going on out there in Oregon. But like you said before, Frank Martin is the name that everybody's happy about. He's an SEC guy. He's a guy that has coached on all levels, coached high school basketball down in Miami. He has coached around several different opportunities, been 5 years now at South Carolina, has changed the culture there. And so much has been said about his mentality and his personality is not what you see with all the emotions and all the yelling and screaming on the court. He actually has a good heart, and he loves those kids. And I think I appreciate what the networks have done to really open that side up to let you see just how he is at home with his wife, with his kids, and of course when he's behind the scenes with his players.
And, I love to see him with his players, DJ. He has that father figure. He's hard-nosed. He coaches hard. And I think really nowadays some players can't stand to be coached hard, but he coaches his guys hard. He rolls about 9 or 10 guys after you, DJ. He gets people in the game. He plays full tempo. I mean, I just love what South Carolina does basketball-wise. And then you look at, what can you say about Roy Williams and the North Carolina, getting these guys back? They are probably the biggest team other than Oregon, which is going to be a great game, I think. I think it'll be a game that's in the hundreds because they both get the ball up and down the court. They believe in shooting threes, and they don't play that much defense. So I think that's going to be an interesting game. But Oregon is a fast-paced, fast, up-tempo team along with North Carolina. So I think that's going to be a good game. But I think really, DJ, not having seen Gonzaga a lot, I think, them being a number 1 seed, they're 34-2 over a year. I mean, that speaks for itself. But at the same time, I think I want to see South Carolina against North Carolina for the NCAA championship.
And I do want to say this about Gonzaga. It gives those mid-major, or at least those middle-of-the-way guys who don't get recruited by the big D1 schools, I mean the name schools of course, the North Carolinas and the Dukes of the world. But at the same time, Gonzaga come to play. Now, as far as Roy Williams is concerned, of course, he's a disciple of Dean Smith. He adds that tradition that you always want to see in the Final Four. And, of course, the great basketball that they play at North Carolina. Again, it's not coincidence that you see Roy Williams in North Carolina in the Final Four.
It's not coincidental at all. When you start looking at the Sweet 16, the Elite 8 teams, when you saw Kentucky in there, you saw North Carolina in there. You had these guys. UCLA was in there. That was the legacy that we grew up on. All those teams, they're used to winning. North Carolina, to get back to where they were last year, that is huge. That's big. And if they can make it to the championship game, it's going to be an interesting game. But to just get back to that point, you could tell they got a pretty good team, DJ. I think really a lot of people talk about the one and done that North Carolina has to deal with and Kentucky has to deal with, and a lot of teams are dealing with, the LeVar Ball piece, UCLA having to deal with the one and done. I think really we always talk about this at the end of the year. The teams that have some senior leadership, they usually make it far into the NCAA because really the other teams just got freshmen. And really physically, is that freshman ready yet, or is his talent gotten to that level yet? And now we'll find out what team has what team has the greatest leadership at this point.
All right, we have plenty more to come on Sports Visions.
Live in the spotlight with Sports Life Entertainment. Enjoy our 25-passenger luxury party buses or corporate coaches. For more information, contact us at 770-989-1340. And remember, it's all about that sports life.
It's a very simple procedure, Mr. Diaz. We're just gonna make one small incision here, then we're gonna go in and remove your 67 Corvette.
My vet?
Yeah.
It's just a gallbladder.
You don't have Aflac paying you cash, so you might have to sell that sweet little muscle machine just to cover your rent. More funny juice.
But my papa gave me that.
What do you wish you had? Aflac. I love doing that.
Health can change, but the life you love doesn't have to. Keep your lifestyle healthy with Aflac.
Today, my dad walked me down the aisle. It seems like yesterday when he taught me how to drive. And just a few years later, he took me to college. But I remember the day my dad had a heart attack. And that almost changed everything. He needed open heart surgery. Lucky for us, we had the amazing doctors at the St. Francis Heart Hospital on our side. Because of their excellent care, he's here with me today. Thank you, St. Francis.
Welcome back to Sports Vision. Well, Dale, there's a new stadium sits on the north side near Smyrna of Atlanta. Of course, Fulton County Stadium is no more.
That's right.
SunTrust Stadium is the place to be, and the Atlanta Braves have a brand new home and a brand new team.
Brand new team? I mean, really, I've definitely got a brand new team player. Because, you know, if you can name 10 people right now, we'll give you $1 million on the Atlanta Braves. Nobody knows them. They're young. Again, you know, you got Freddie Freeman that's back. You know, you got Tieron he's back. And, you know, really, you got the Josh Kemp piece, what I think really is going to be big for the Braves. But at the same time, the Braves are known for having one of the top farm systems in baseball. The Braves can give away good players, but they always inherit good players too. So we're going to find out how good they are real fast.
And the good thing that everybody's hearing and saying about the Braves coming out of spring training, even though the record doesn't indicate it, is that, you know, they feel good with what they have, and they feel good with the talent that they've assembled, and they felt like they don't have to rebuild now. They have a nice blend of young players with veteran players. Again, you mentioned the starter Tieron, as well as, of course, Roberto Colon, who's come over, and you know what? They just got a nice little, when you really think about it and when you really dissect that roster, you see that they have some players who have performed and done well.
They have, DJ, and really one of the biggest things, you know, people are always saying now, and it's definitely a point now, DJ, all the players are getting younger. You know, they're coming out of school younger, 21, 22. It's nothing for them to bring these guys up in the major league at 22 years old. I think the Chicago Cubs last year, you know, they won the World Series, but they had one of the youngest teams in baseball. So I think being young is good, DJ, you know, to be able to kind of police your whole payroll. You don't have those big-time millionaire players anymore, but you got enough to grow with. And I think some of those young guys that the Braves have are going to do very well.
I think that the telltale sign really in the storyline early on is that, of course, we mentioned SunTrust in the opening. However, when you talk about all the great restaurants, all the apartments and condos and all the action that's going on in and on and around SunTrust, man, it's just going to create a whole new culture in that part of town.
Really, it's development. And I think one of the biggest reasons that the Braves franchise found out that they wanted to move from downtown to Cobb County, because really most of their fans are from Cobb County. Really for the development piece that they didn't do while they were downtown, they've done those things now. I mean, they got condos, they got houses, they got shopping centers, they got stores, they got everything around this SunTrust Park, which is great for the economy up in Cobb County. And we're just going to find out, you know, we just probably had to fly in a helicopter, DJ, because traffic is going to be off the chain up there.
It is. And a little side note to all you folks that are used to bringing your own food in, and some other stadiums, of course, Atlanta and Fulton County, you had some rules and regulations and things. But just so you know, they are going to let you bring in foods if you have a special diet that you can't, meaning that if you're, have some a medical situation, you can bring in your own water, but they got a special tailgate area deal, believe it or not, that they're saying that you can do that 2 hours prior to the game. So they've already planned and thought this thing out. I mean, this wasn't something that they just came up with. They realized that they had to be customer friendly. And that's the main thing. And again, when you're thinking about your customers, the first thing you have to do is think about the pricing, of not only your beer, but your popcorn and your hot dogs and all the pleasantries that you have inside.
And like you said, DJ, customer friendly. You got to be customer friendly. Whatever you need to do to make that customer happy, to make that fan happy, you got to let them do it, DJ. And really for the price that they're paying for the ticket, alongside the concession stand prices of something, really, and everybody can't eat everything anymore. And then to be very health conscious, I think Major League Baseball, when they do build their stadiums, the way they do their whole systems, whether they do their concessions now, they're thinking about that health piece a whole lot.
I know one other thing that I want to add before we end this segment is that I know that we have recently started, of course, with our bus services, with party buses and the coaches, of course, but we have to hear from you. If you want us to put together, some trips to the Braves game, email us, Facebook us, contact us, call us, let us know, because when we hear from you, that's what will make us do it, because we're not going to give you something that you don't want. So it'd be good to hear from everybody.
DJ, we found this out last year, when it started, everybody started on sprinters. these Mercedes-Benz Sprinters going to football games, going to baseball games. 12 people, they got 12 tickets. They want to go to the game, but they don't want to pay $100 to park. They don't know exactly how to get into the game. That's what you need the party buses for. That's what you need the Sprinters for. We can do all that for you with the convenience of just coming from here to Columbus, from Phoenix City to Atlanta, wherever you want to come from. It's a convenience that I think really is going to be the new wave for us, baseball and football.
But again, contact us. We have a Facebook page, Sports Visions TV show. You can also go and you can email us. Of course, you can email me at djjones@sportsvisionsusa.com. Dale Williams, you'll see it on the screen, Dale Williams at sportsvisionsusa.com, and our phone numbers as well. But we're the easiest guys to get in touch with in town, so let us know if you and your groups want to go see the Braves play this year.
Sports Visions, brought to you by Cook Dental Care, Diverse Power, Crown Royal, Taylor Funeral Home, and the Hilton Garden Inn.
If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle, come see us at Express Motors, 1210 14th Street, Phoenix City, Alabama. Or give us a call, 334-384-9101, with hundreds of vehicles to choose from. In-house financing, the right vehicle at the right price for you. We don't want all your business, just yours. Come see us, 1210 14th Street, Phoenix City, Alabama, or go online, www.expressmotorspc.com.
Live in the spotlight with Sports Life Entertainment. Enjoy our 25-passenger luxury party buses or corporate coaches. For more information, contact us at 770-989-1340. And remember, it's all about that sports life.
And welcome back to today's final segment of Sports Visions. Dale, I had a chance earlier in the week to understand and appreciate why we do what we do. I had the opportunity to speak at the Carver's girls basketball luncheon, or banquet rather, and it tells me that again, just with the amount of pride and support and passion in that room, and that's just one school, and we're talking about East Alabama, West Central Georgia, bringing them together and honoring the best athletes. But I appreciate the Booster Club and the sports administration from Carver for allowing me to come out and inspire and share with those young ladies. But again, that takes us right into what we are going to be doing on Thursday, April the 20th.
That's right. The Female Athlete of the Year, our second annual Female Athlete of the Year luncheon will be held here at the Hilton Garden Inn at 11:30. For more information, you can call Dale Williams at 706-681-5192 or DJ Jones at 706-681-1136. If you want to sponsor a table, if you want to come as a fan, or do you want to sponsor the whole event, DJ? Hey, just come on in. We look forward to serving 22, 23 of the biggest high schools in the Chattahoochee Valley.
Hey, the best thing about it is we have our great guest speaker, Dale, a young lady who just done outstanding. Columbus State Lady Cougars, who have just won 31 games this year. They have a Peach Belt Athletic Conference regular season title. They also have a tournament title and a Southeast Regional title. Of course, their coach, Anita Howard, she's the guest speaker, and man, I'm excited for her, and I'm excited for the young ladies to hear what Anita has to say as far as inspiring those young ladies on that day.
I can't wait either, DJ. I think she has a great program. We talked about Dawn Staley early in the program. I think she has really laid a great foundation for the Columbus State women's basketball team. Former Fort Valley State Wildcat. She's done a great job, but she's even doing a better job at Columbus State.
Absolutely, and keep your name, keep this name on your mind, Anita Howard. She's the hottest thing going right now in Division II basketball as far as women's coaches, and just like Dawn Staley, this young lady, I tell you what, it means even more because we have her here in our community, and we're going to hopefully have her here for a couple of more years, but if she keeps performing at the rate she started out, we won't have her here much longer.
We won't have her much longer, DJ, but we're going to take advantage of her while we got her here. Really, hats off to her. Great job, great Coach of the Year honors. She's going to do great things in the future also. All
right, well, that's going to do it for all the sports we have for today. For Dale Williams, I'm DJ Jones, reminding you to keep your eye on the ball. Have a great week.
Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you.
I'm back, swimming at the gym every week. Last month, I started playing tennis again. And 4 months ago, I went hiking for the first time. I struggled with knee pain for years. Just walking upstairs was difficult. But the St. Francis Orthopedic Institute was there, from surgery through physical therapy, helping me get back to doing the things I love. Thanks, St. Francis. I'm back in motion again.
Truth be truth. The will to win will win. So intimidate your darkest fear. Revive every forgotten fantasy. Set goals you can never reach, then reach them. Count cards to fight fate stack deck. And if you want to win as much as you want to live, you're ready to reign on.
Hi, I'm Grace Carswell. I almost lost my life in a car accident due to someone else's negligence. Forrest V. Johnson & Associates held the insurance companies accountable and worked tirelessly on my behalf to make sure I got the compensation I deserved. You can trust Forrest V. Johnson & Associates. Results you can bank on.
Call Forrest B. Johnson and Associates right now.
706-223-5380.
Live in the spotlight with Sports Life Entertainment. Enjoy our 25-passenger luxury party buses or corporate coaches. For more information, contact us at 770-989-1340. And remember, it's all about that sports life.
It's a very simple procedure, Mr. Diaz. We're just going to make one small incision here, then we're going to go in and remove your 67 Corvette.
My bet.
Yeah.
It's just a gallbladder.
You don't have Aflac paying you cash, so you might have to sell that sweet little muscle machine just to cover your rent. More funny juice.
But my papa gave me that.
What do you wish you had? Aflac. I love doing that.
Health can change, but the life you love doesn't have to. Keep your lifestyle healthy with Aflac.
Today, my dad walked me down the aisle. It seems like yesterday when he taught me how to drive. And just a few years later, he took me to college. But I remember the day my dad had a heart attack, and that almost changed everything. He needed open heart surgery. Lucky for us, we had the amazing doctors at the St. Francis Heart Hospital on our side. Because of their excellent care, he's here with me today. Thank you, St. Francis.
It's time to save during the Nissan Year of the Truck and SUV event at Headquarter Nissan. Now, save $4,500 on new Rogue. Save $10,000 on all remaining 2016 Nissan Titan XDs. And get America's best truck warranty. Take on any job with Nissan trucks and SUVs from Headquarter Nissan.
Yes, Columbus is a Nissan town. Now it's going to be a Titan town. $10,000 off 2016 Titan.